Hello, manifestors. So, for those who love success stories, I'm coming to you today with two success stories, one job success story and one SP success story. But what I want you to get from those success stories is the point of what manifests, how we manifest our desire. For example, someone left a comment when I announced my video today. Someone made the comment, I live to hear about success stories. That is good and all, but I would rather you guys live to live your own success story. I would rather guys live to create and imagine your own success story rather than listening to other people's success stories all the time because maybe, just maybe, you don't have enough faith yet and you feel like hearing about other people's success story can bring you more faith. But you know what? Nothing will bring you more faith than your own experience. So test the law every single day with little things, big things, everything. Test the law, test your imagination, and you'll see that imagination creates your world, creates what we call reality. And if you do that, you won't be in the need so much to hear about other people's success stories. So use those success stories to do the same thing and create your own. This said, I truly want to thank those two clients who wrote beautiful emails with a rundown of the story, explaining where they were, how they learned and how they applied, and putting it down in a beautifully written email. Thank you so much. And thank you also for the beautiful success stories and good feedback that I've got from my group coaching people. That really, really makes me so happy when people are succeeding, when people are progressing, when people are enjoying this law and changing their lives. Thank you for liking the video, sharing, commenting. Without further ado, let's get into those success stories. So let's start with our job success story here. For the past year, I was getting more and more aware of the fact that I no longer wanted to do the job I was doing. And I kept trying things only to realize that I didn't like the job I was doing. I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't know exactly if it existed. At first, I kept pushing and taking a lot of actions in the 3D to land the perfect job for me. But each time I landed something, eventually something went wrong and I realized that this wasn't what I wanted. This merry-go-round lasted for many months. That's when I decided to look for help, and I sent you an email to ask if you could help me with my issue. In our coaching session, you showed me that all I was doing was taking action without any inner preparation whatsoever, and that's why my action failed. You showed me that action alone can be a waste of time and energy. You told me that all I needed to do was to imagine that I already was occupying my dream job and embodying the feeling of satisfaction of doing that job without being very specific. Truth be told, it took me a little bit of trying before I managed to feel inside my imagination that I was occupying my perfect job. But you reminded me that's what persisting was all about. Persisting in the feeling that we already have what we want. So I persisted in that feeling as much as I could and stopped taking action for the sake of taking action. A couple of months later, I had the opportunity to interview for a job that was exactly what I wanted. You told me to go to that interview as if the job was already mine. So I went there being pretty relaxed. And I stayed that way even when I was told that I wasn't the only person being considered. I just knew that job was mine. Well, I've got the job and I've been working there for over 3 months now. The experience really helped me to build faith in the law. I feel so confident now that I can be and have anything I want. This is truly a beautiful success story, guys. And several times this client has told me, when I'm thinking about just a few months ago, having this job that I wanted to have, which I didn't even know existed, almost seemed like unreal, like I was crazy, like I was delusional, like a dream that was just in my head. But understanding that imagination creates reality, somehow I created this job that I thought didn't even exist, but I created it, I manifested it in my reality, using the law, using my imagination, and then using my faith and trust that if I was able to imagine myself doing what I love to do, then it would happen. And it did. This is a job success story, but it's the same thing for everything, guys, and specific people included. So without further ado, let's read the SP success story. My SP journey was a long one, but looking back, it was all for the best because it gave me time to grow and to learn who I truly am, even though this wasn't my state of mind when I first reached out to you. When I found you online, I had been manifesting my SP for a year and a half, or so I thought. In truth, I was consuming manifesting content from a place of lack, and I came to a point where I thought I needed help. After debating for a while between a few coaches, I kept going back to you. When I started working with you, I was still pretty desperate and still felt very separated from my SP. But you showed me how we are all one and how people don't have so-called free will in our reality, but can only act according to the role we give them. When you took my own example to show me how this is true, it really clicked for me. And I was convinced that I was the author of my own mess. So if I had created that, I could create the opposite because the law is totally impartial. What I first came to realize is that while I was thinking that I was manifesting my SP, I was actually in a waiting state. But not only that, I was having negative conversations in my mind with him pretty much daily and living in the past pretty heavily. When I realized that, it was both frightening and eye-opening and gave me an answer as to why I wasn't manifesting my SP. Throughout the first few weeks, you kept reminding me that no negative inner conversations and feelings go unheard, so by law, it had to reflect in my world. But you also helped me see that my thoughts, whatever form of them, were coming from my state. And because I wasn't in the state of my desire fulfilled, but rather in a state of lack, all my inner conversations, thoughts, feelings, and reaction were based on that state. So while this was a hard pill to swallow at first, that really woke me up with a bang. And I decided that I no longer wanted to live that way and be on top of my shit already. You reminded me that there was a hard way to manifest and an easy way to manifest. And I remember you mentioned Neville's quote, "You are already that which you want to be, and your refusal to believe it is the only reason you do not see it." And you explained to me that based on that quote, there is truly nothing we need to do to manifest a desire besides assuming that it is done, and that any techniques we might use are only helpers to get there. But you also showed me that there is a thin line between techniques to become who we want to be and using techniques as if they were our God manifesting our desires for us. With your help, I managed to meditate on that quite a lot and started to truly embody the belief and feeling that I was already the person who is in a relationship with my SP. That pretty much automatically eliminated my negative thoughts and inner chats and all the negative feelings that I had. After a few weeks of going within this way, my SP showed up again in my life after 2.5 years. So guys, in case you didn't notice, what those two clients did and what most of my clients do, they do the inner work, because I'm very much on inner work nowadays. I am no longer on external things like affirmations and stuff like that. I am really myself more than ever working on my inner world. I am doing inner work to manifest whatever, anything. And that's what I teach. And when I teach that, people not only manifest their desires, guys, but they really transform the way they feel about themselves, the way they see this world, the way they are, everything. Everything clicks, everything changes for them. And whatever it is that they want to manifest when they first meet me, after that, they are convinced that they can be and have anything that they want. So I truly hope that this video was helpful. And again, thank you so much for allowing me to share your stories, guys. They are so beautiful stories. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for subscribing. And thank you for your beautiful comments and feedback. I'll see you next time.